Hi everybody, Scott here with Ambitions Abroad, and I'm coming on today to talk about the process of exchanging your driver's license in France. Now, everyone's process may be slightly different. Luckily, my wife and I lived in a state that allows for a driver's license exchange. Not all states do this in the United States. You want to make sure that you can check on this list to see if your state is one of them. And after that, to begin the process, you're going to log into the ANTS website. ANTS stands for Agency Nationale des Titres Sécurisés. Probably butchering that, but essentially it translates to the National Agency for Secure Documents. There are a couple of other things that you could do on this website, including getting a new passport, which I assume means a French passport. Also getting your French ID, which allows you to connect to different government websites. But for the purpose of this, we're just talking about exchanging your driver's license from the US to France. So my wife and I lucked out by living in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is one of the states that does have reciprocity with France. And in addition to filling out the application, you're going to need to provide several documents. The first and probably the easiest one to secure is going to be your ANTS approved photo. There's a number of places that do this here in Nice, and I'm sure throughout France as well. A lot of these kiosks are in photo booths and things like that within supermarkets, and of course there are probably government registered ones as well. I took the convenient path of downloading an app, and after either getting the photo in person where you have the physical photo, or using an app like the one that I just put up on the screen, or you get a code, you're going to use that and upload that with your documentation. Now, the most important documents that you're going to need to have with you in addition to your identification photo are your driver's license and your driving record. These two documents are also going to have to be translated for the French government when you submit your application. Translating documents can be rather expensive, so you want to make sure that you're getting the most up-to-date ones and also the accurate ones. If your state does allow reciprocity, a simple Google search will help you figure out where you can obtain your driving record. And as we were told this by many people before leaving for France, if you have a duplicate driver's license that is still active, you can also use that for this exchange and maintain your current driver's license so that you can use it should you go back to the United States. In addition to the copy of your driver's license and your driving record translated, you're going to also need a proof of address where you're living at currently here in France, as well as an identity document that is not your driver's license. So for this, I used my passport, and I made sure to include my visa with that copy. One of the more precarious things that is required is proof of residence for the last 6 months before coming to France in the United States or in the state that you came from. For this, I used the last 6 months of water bills that we had. I would also recommend to do this as soon as you can, especially for this part, because when you leave the United States and you shut down your utility accounts, the issue in my case came up that I could not access my online accounts for our electric bill or for my previous cell phone or internet bill. Of those that I could get, my water bill was the only one that was still available. In addition to these documents, you're also going to have to prove your residence here in France. For this, you're going to want to use your visa validation document for after you've already arrived in France and then validated your visa, letting them know that you're here. Additional documents that I provided just to make sure that there was no question about whether or not I came to France when we did. I also provided a flight itinerary that we arrived here in France on April 2nd. I also showed that we've been in France since April, and although we weren't living in our apartment at that point, I also gave them the receipt for the Airbnb that we stayed at. And finally, I gave the first few pages of our lease that we got when we were here in France living in our apartment. I did not include all of the pages for the lease because the lease document itself is about 60-some pages. With that, one of the final things to keep in mind is that the system that you are uploading the documents to only allows you to upload a single page at a time. So if possible, definitely pick and choose which of the documents or which part of the documents that you're uploading that have the pertinent information and try to limit them to showing just what you need. After submitting my application with all of my documentation on October 1st, there was an update in the system for the 5th saying that it was under review, and I will find out in hopefully the next couple of months whether or not I actually got it. After submitting the application and making sure that I paid my dues, I saw that the anticipated wait time currently is between 6 to 8 months to figure out whether or not we're going to get our driver's license. So I will update you hopefully when I have some news.